Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 13, Episode 13. Before I get started, let me give a shout out to NPO Creations for sending me this t-shirt. I know my hair is going to be covering it up. Somebody last week was like, I can't even read your t-shirt, your hair's so big. I was like, well, I had already showed y'all that t-shirt, so I wasn't wearing it for you to read it. You really can't see it, but it's really cute because it's rhinestones on a black, so it's like the rhinestones are like black iridescent, and then it's on a black t-shirt, but it says black is the new black. And NPO Creations sent that to me along with a really cute little purse and some $20 for me to get some lunch. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. I will leave her website down in the description box. If you guys are interested in anything that she has, then you go over there and you check it out. All right, you guys, so the review, let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so we have one day till the wedding. Cynthia's a little concerned because the hurricane is coming. You guys already know that the weather was bad here in Atlanta on 10/10/20, which was her destined day. We already know that the wedding got moved from the outside to the inside, and that's a little concerning considering it's COVID and you have 250 guests going, but she's still gonna do what she's gonna do. We see Portia and she's talking to her sister and she was just like, if my ex is going to be at the wedding, I'm gonna be the best dressed at that wedding. I was like, I already knew that. I told you guys, she was, I mean, completely like super fly, almost like better than the damn bride. I mean, you would have thought, you know, so it was like she kind of stole the show a little bit. I mean, Cynthia was a beautiful bride. Her dress was beautiful, but Portia was definitely coming in second, okay? I knew that was probably why. I told you guys, when you know your ex is going to be around, you about to be the finest. But anyway, Cynthia, she's at the house. She's having her rehearsal and dinner at the house. So she has all of the people, I guess, that's in the wedding going to come over. Well, they're all coming over. They're streaming over slowly. Like I said, she's bummed that the hurricane is coming, but ain't nothing you can do about old Mother Nature. That's one thing we can always count on. Eva shows up. She's one of the bridesmaids. Shout out to Nene. And it was funny at first when she first walked in, I was like, they're not going to show her face. They just kept on showing the back of her and all of that. But, yeah, Eva is one of the bridesmaids, so she makes it there. When everybody gets seated, Cynthia gets up in front of everybody, and she's just sort of like, you can tell she's like in a weird kind of down space. You know, she's just like, thank you everybody for coming. We're going to have this rehearsal, you know, and the dinner. It's going to be real nonchalant and, you know, not nothing real serious, just something that we can run through. I appreciate you all for being here, all being in the wedding, you know, that kind of speech. And then, you know, #Chill gets up there and was just like, you know, I know it's, it act like it's my day, but it's my lady's day. I know it's my lady's day. All right, my lady. I'm telling you, I keep on thinking that #Chill is much older than he is. He just has such old man mannerisms. You guys told me he's from New York. I thought he was from like Detroit or St. Louis or something like that. He on that kind of Chicago kind of ways. She's telling us about the COVID restrictions, and you know, she's just trying to convince us all that the wedding is going to be very sanitized. You know, she's going to have hand stations and everybody's going to wear masks and everybody's going to be this. I was like, girl, you ain't got to tell us, okay? But I guess that's why she's so down, is because everybody has been on her about this big ass wedding that's now going to be indoors, which is going to be even more pressure on her if anybody gets sick. Kenya shows up. She's also one of the bridesmaids, and I was surprised. I was like, did Eva and Kenya get along? At first I was like, no, they didn't. But then I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess they did, child. It was so many fights and shit going on that last season, but I think everybody collectively had decided that they wasn't fucking with Nene no more, so maybe that's why I can't remember what Kenya and Eva's status was. But Kenya was like, you know, when Cynthia told her about the blogs talking about the wedding and all of that, Kenya was just like, she's just gonna have to kind of, you know, brace herself for, I mean, you having it, it's a pandemic. You already know people are going to have something to say, so you just don't let that get you down. I mean, if this is what you want to do, then this is what you're doing, right? Take it on the chin and keep pushing. Candy shows up, and, you know, she's talking about her dress. I got a whole lot of booty in my dress. Everybody is actually talking about their dresses being too small. This is a juicy bunch of girls. But you know, we cannot all get together these days without us talking about what? Bolo. the bachelorette party. Cynthia's a little also perturbed that that story went viral, that it went, and that it's in the blogs now and it's right before her wedding. And it really looks like it's taken a lot of the attention away from her wedding. So she seems to be a little bit irritated. Kenya's trying to implicate everybody now, basically saying that you guys were all witness to what I'm saying. It's not just me. But, Candy is over there just sort of making a face like, I'm not fixing to be confirming your story when I already told you from the fucking beginning to just drop it. Kenya was just like, look at Candy over there trying to be neutral Nancy. I just don't think that anybody should be shamed for doing what they want to do. These girls are single. Well, Tanya isn't, but we really are mostly talking about Portia. But you know what? It's just sort of like Cynthia's over it. She says she don't want to talk about Bolo no mo. Okay, we on to the wedding. All right, so really they could just drop this whole thing. I was like, girl, you and me both. I think we all are over it already. So anyway, they're talking about it. When Kenya gets a little chance to talk to Candy off to the side, she's just asking Candy, can you just support me in this? I'm not saying that you have to say what happened, but, you already know that Portia's going to discredit me. Candy was just like, well, I just don't want to be a part of messing up anybody's relationship. But Kenya's going on and on. Everybody is lying. Everybody knows what's happening. I just honestly don't know why it is this big of a deal to Kenya. It almost is borderline obsessive. Is the producers pushing her to keep on doing this because there's nothing else really to talk about? I don't know. But I'm just sort of like, oh my God, asked and answered a whole bunch of times. Move on, Kenya. I still don't know why any of this matters. Jumping over to Shamia, we see Shamia's having a fun girls party, okay? And she is going to have Marlo, Portia, and Latoya, and what that child name is, Drew. She's having them all over. So, because this is the fun girls bunch. I guess we're going to say Marlo is in the lane that we don't quite know, considering Portia don't trust the fact that Marlo and Kenya are friends now. But we'll get to that in a minute. So Shamia's had shirts made for everybody and their alter ego name that they came up with when they did the when they were at South Carolina. And it's going to be a stone cold groove for all. So they start talking about Cynthia's wedding. Portia's just like, she's going to be uncomfortable going to the wedding, knowing that the super is going to be there. Especially considering the fact that me and Dennis was supposed to get married and now we both going to be there and we not even together no more. So it's going to be strange for her. But you know what? She's showing up. She got to show up for Miss Cynthia Bailey, coming Miss Cynthia #chill. Of course, we start talking about what's online. Drew said what's online is crazy. There was a hashtag that was going around that said it wasn't me. I guess Kenya used the hashtag first, and then Marlo used the hashtag it wasn't me because she said, my nephews was looking and they were like, Auntie, what did you do? And she can't have her nephews thinking that she out there holding around like that, okay? She has a reputation to uphold. So she went on and put the hashtag, it wasn't me. I guess they were trying to say that Marlo was following in the footsteps of Kenya, but she was just like, I'm my own person. I'm not doing that because of what Kenya did. They already have a problem with the fact, well, at least Portia does have a problem with the fact that Marlo and Kenya have now made friends, remember? And so they were kind of talking to her about that. And she was just like, I'm not fixing to let Portia, regulate who I am and am not friends with. All right. Because if Portia and Shamia were to fall out for whatever reason, she's still going to be everybody's friend. Even though I can understand why Portia would feel the way that she does. There's so much water under the bridge for these girls that it's hard to just be like forgiving and all of that. So, I get it, but still, like, you can't expect somebody to cut somebody out because you're not friends with them. What was funny to me was how Drew and Latoya went at it. Now, when Latoya gets there, Drew jumps up and is partying with her like, hey, girl, all the fun girls is here. That was Trini Gal, whatever. So she's there. They're celebrating. They're having a good time twerking and whatnots. But man, how quickly that shit turned. I felt like Drew, I don't really know how to read Drew. I feel like Drew is really trying to place herself on the show. She obviously has aligned herself with Portia's side. That's fine. But she is so like, I mean, I guess they was like, we need you to be real spunky. We need you to have a spark. We need you to be a spitfire, because all of a sudden she's that. She didn't start out that way. But I mean, I guess that, you know, time will tell. When you spend more time with somebody, you find out their true personality. Drew says that she was cool with LaToya when she walked in because she's going to match the vibe. So however LaToya is, that's the same way that she's going to be. All right. So anyway, we sit down, we playing Jenga and Jenga. And the difference with this game is on each block, there's a question. And usually the question is something sexual in nature. Who would you sleep with here? You know, run around with your top off, child. When Marlo got that, and she pulled up her boobs and ran around, I could not believe she did it. I was like, she only did it because she already knew them boobs was sitting up nice. Okay, them boobs look great. But she just ran around, bounced around, and all they did was, they didn't do a collective blur up here. They just blurred her nipples, basically. So we could still see her titties going around. And like I said, they were sitting up pretty, so they wasn't saggy and all. So that was why she was so comfortable with lifting up her shirt like that. But I was just like, oh! Who would have ever thought that Marlo would have done something like that? I know she has a reputation. You know, they always want to say that she got sugar daddy and all of that. But I never would have thought Marlo would have done something like that. I was just like, oh my God. Anyways, you guys, when they start talking about this story and the fact that it had been leaked, I was like, Toya is going to get herself completely tripped up, because Toya cannot decide which side of the fence she wants to be on. She is riding that fence really hard, and really nobody really knows her. So it's like nobody knows what to trust of her. So she starts telling them about Kenya, how she feels that Kenya leaked the story, okay, which we all had said, you know, they had already pretty much said from the beginning. But then she starts telling Kenya's business when it comes to her divorce and the fact that Mark had asked for alimony. And Drew was like, wait a minute, don't even get to telling her business. I mean, we don't even like her like that, but still. Come on, Toya. So when Toya said that, I was like, you know, even Portia was just like, she sure did give me some ammunition. But even Portia was like, no, girl, that ain't cool. You know, so when she said, I think that Kenya leaked the story, Portia was just like, no, I think you leaked the story because you came in here. You perpetuating this lie and pushing it even further. You know, even now Toya is like, no, let's just drop it. And they were like, no, let's not just drop it. Okay. So even Drew wanted to get in on the action. So then all of a sudden her and Toya started arguing, because Toya was like, Drew wants to bring up the fact that Toya said that, you know, she doesn't care about, well, Drew said that she didn't care about marriages, or, you know, didn't respect marriages or whatever. And I don't really understand why we got into a big fight about this, because I thought that we had talked about this already when we were in South Carolina. But all of a sudden, Drew and Toya are going back and forth, because Drew was like, honey, I have a perfect marriage. I have a perfect hairline. I have perfect children. Okay, don't you ever put my name in your mouth. Don't you ever come for my family. And don't you do that. And da-da-da. And they just start arguing. And Portia was just like, I don't understand these girls. Like, just a few minutes ago when they walked in, she was twerking and everything. And now they going back and forth like this. Nobody knows what to, like I said, Drew is trying to establish herself. I don't really know what Toya is doing. But I do know that Toya better be careful. Because we already saw in the previews for next week how Kenya is now telling her that she don't trust her. So I'm just like, Toya, you better, listen, girl, you better pick a fucking side and be on it. Or just try to stay neutral. But this going back and forth between the fun girls and the aunties, it ain't gonna work. Now let's get on to the day of the wedding, you guys. Cynthia says, strangely enough, she's calm. Everybody is getting dressed. Everybody's getting their makeup done. Remember, I said Candy's in the wedding, and so is Kenya, so the cameras are there. We see Portia, she's getting ready, and she said, I told Dennis that I didn't want him invited to the wedding. So he got in his feelings, and he went on social media on Instagram, and he put single as fuck. So then I was mad because he put this out at the worst timing. Like, everybody is going to read that and think that it has something to do with Kenya and the Bachelorette story. So she was mad because this is like, you really are confirming the story for people in the blogs that don't know. They just automatically gonna think that you single as fuck because of the stripper story. But really, honestly, I think that we probably just thought y'all was single as fuck because you guys have so many problems and, you know, you go back and forth anyway, Portia. But, so she was mad about that. Drew calls Cynthia and is like, hey girl, I can't, you know, my voice is so messed up. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to sing. And Cynthia's just like, girl, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You guys are going to come. You enjoy yourself. I was like, bitch, if you wasn't over there at fucking Shamia's house cutting the fool and doing all that screaming and yelling and drinking when you know that you need to preserve your voice for the next day, especially if you're not really normally singing all the time anyway, that's the fucking reason. Just irresponsible. That's the reason why you can't sing. Okay, talking about you don't know what it is. I do. You was screaming at Toya. Whatever, the day must go on. So, you know, they start showing clips from Cynthia and Peter's first, you know, her first marriage with Peter. And I'm just laughing at the fact that nobody wore eyelashes back then. Her eyes look so ski balls, you know, but we already know what they went through. Watching Cynthia go through what she went through in her first marriage was painful, so I am so glad that she's able to find happiness a second time. So yeah, I mean, the wedding is beautiful. We had seen a lot of the pictures. We saw it all over social media. Place was beautiful and everybody looked like they had a good time. And you know, when they showed when they opened the doors for Cynthia to walk in, she looked absolutely beautiful. You know, a little juicy. People were talking about her having a pouch and her might be pregnant and all. And I was like, no, that's just grown woman. That's called grown woman packed in this dress. We was going to get in and hook a crook. I was looking at her profile. I was like, that's how I look when I, you know, just kind of stomach out, booty out, like all of this. But she looked beautiful. And, you know, #Chill looked like he was very happy to see her, you know, and she just truly 100% loves her some #Chill. She said that he feels like home to her. She said that he makes her happy. She just loves to be around him. He is her best friend and she gets to spend the rest of her life with her best friend. We should all be so lucky. So good for her. As far as Portia and the Super are concerned, it's still drama, you know. She didn't want him to come. He's there. He obviously didn't get the black and white memo because he has on a red smoking jacket. Like, nigga, can you put on the damn color, coordinate with everybody else, you know, with this red smoking jacket on? But anyway, the wedding is very, very pretty. It's a bummer that the show wasn't able to record, but like I said, it was COVID, and because they moved it inside, they couldn't risk having the staff being responsible for the staff. If Cynthia and if the girls want to do that, that's one thing, but they can't have workers, staff, you know, doing that. So yeah, no, they did pretty good with recording with some camera. I'm sure they had, you know, home cameras and phone cameras and all of that recording. So it looked very, very, very nice. Congratulations to the happy couple. And then lastly, you guys, they throw on this tack on this part at the end with Portia and the Super going to dinner. I want to have a conversation and dinner. Okay, because I guess they don't never really get to have, you know, one or the other. Probably always some Henny involved, and then they get to fucking and then nothing gets resolved. Okay, then they fighting all over again. So yeah, she's hoping that they can get somewhere with this conversation. And like I said, she was irritated with him posting single as fuck right after Kenya had put out the story. Well, let her tell it. Kenya put out the story that she slept with Bolo. And really, you guys, this conversation is so unnecessary. I just honestly don't know why they're trying to force it. Like Portia said, if we didn't have PJ, if we didn't have a baby, you would be the moved on and I would be the moved on with my life. We wouldn't even be thinking about each other. Them two, it's unfortunate. They tried. It didn't work. Okay? We still trying to force this square peg into this little circle, and it's just not going to happen. They start rehashing the problems that they had. I had a problem with you having a place down in Atlanta. You know, she kept hearing about him having a place down there. Then he supposedly be staying in the house with her there. I mean, we remember the story. Partially, the man didn't feel welcome in her house because she wasn't giving him any space. But I also feel like he used that as an excuse because he really didn't want to be out there where she lives very, very far away from Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta is where the shit is happening. All right, and he has businesses and he wanted to be closer to his businesses as well. So, you know, he's there, and that's why it just ain't gonna work. I don't even need to sit here and talk about it long. You guys have a baby, figure out a way to co-parent between each other. You know, Portia gets emotional, she starts crying. She was just like, I'm sure you're tired. I'm sure you're tired. And I was like, girl, we tired. We, us, the viewers, collectively. We have figured it out. Y'all not gonna be together. I wish you guys would figure that out too. All right, you guys, that's it. I gotta get off of here and get on back to work. This time change has got me so screwed up, but child, we gonna make it. I'ma just, woo, I got to get used to this time change, honey. It was a killer this morning when I woke up. You would have thought I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the damn morning. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to take my ass to sleep early tonight. At least I'm going to try. But let me get on off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.